Okay, we're going to give you an example of all this alignment stuff we just talked about in that long-ass previous video, which is the armbar from the guard. And I'm going to show you, let's say, a fairly common way of doing it that doesn't address base posture, structure, frames, and levers, all that kind of stuff. So if you made a mistake a little bit and gave me your arm, and I just kind of, there's different gripping kind of schemes, but essentially I'll swing my legs around and I'll be here. If you know how to defend an armbar at all, you're gonna do that. But even without doing that, if you just kind of stay here and start driving into me, there we go. And so you haven't even connected your hands. I'm gonna try to extend my hips here. So I didn't address your alignment anyway. I did the move. Cosmetically, I swung my legs around your head and I got my hips up in your armpit and I'm controlling your wrist, so I should be able to armbar you. But because my alignment went from fairly good, I had some base with my back on the floor, I've got good posture right now, I've got fairly good structure, I start to move right now, I have no base, or kind of minimal base. I haven't affected your alignment. Your spine is fairly straight. Your structure's not ideal here, but it's not bad. It's not like your arm is way twisted out like that. So, again, this is when we get into kind of we talk about structure is the trickiest one to figure out.
Half a structure.
This is, let's say half for sure, maybe even 7 or 8 out of 10. And then as I throw my leg around your head, if I don't break your posture is maintained, my leg becomes a lever. So now the score it's like 3-1 or maybe even 3-0 for you. So I have an arm bar, but you're winning the alignment battle. And so you'll be able to pull your elbow up fairly easily, and I'm going to fail. You might pass my guard, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how, again, kind of typically man, I learned the armbar in my first week. It's one of the reasons I don't think people should learn the armbar in their first week. But the bane of your existence as a white belt is going for submissions from the guard and getting your guard passed. Right? That's most people. Almost everyone that comes to my academy that visits it. I should mention my visiting student program at some point, but man, I get my guard passed because I went for this, I got my guard. That's why. It's because you didn't address the alignment score. Now if I get, let's say, and I'll do this as though the gi wasn't there, I get a 2-on-1 grip here, and now I go into base and I start to move you around. So right now, if you want to not fall over, you've got to post your hand, and then when I bring my leg around your head, I'm going to open my knee up, and that's starting to break your posture. So let's rotate a little bit so the camera can see that. So I've denied you your base to this corner by controlling your arm, and I've accessed the lever because I'm fairly close to the top of your spine, right, which is
almost like a flower sweep type.
Yeah, exactly. If we wanted to do a little bit more of a gi version of this, it could look like this, right? And then when I bring my leg around your head, I'm not having to make a massive swing and deny myself base. So I'm pushing off of you for base, and I'm pushing off the ground a little bit for base. In this case, I'm using the sleeve grip. And when I bring my leg around your head, rather than keeping my knees pinched tight, because now drive back into me, that lever is accessible. As I open my knee up here, I'm using a little bit of force to break your posture. And so now if you want to drive into me, can't really be done. I'm accessing a lever to your shoulder, controlling the end of it, and I'm lifting my hips. And the amount of movement that I require to finish is fairly minimal, and there's no way that you're going to pass my guard, compress or break my alignment in any way.
Yeah, I mean, the breaking of the posture, I don't know how visible it is to the camera, but basically my ear is touching my shoulder, so I'm in no position to produce force. Now, I've seen some people achieve the same thing by flaring the leg the other way, knee in, leg out.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to say that this is the only way to do it. You can try to do it this way. I find this more effective, that's why I use it.
Sure. But it would accomplish the same.
It would accomplish the same end, and something that's important to sort of note going forward. But we're going to give you a bunch of examples. The examples are going to be illustrating these concepts that we're going through in a manner that I have found to be the most effective from studying the best guys and going through kind of my own research. It doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. Right? There's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know why that's a saying. That's a horrible thing to do. But we're getting our sayings from animal abusers and sociopaths. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, so there will be a difference of opinion on how to achieve these goals. What's important as a takeaway from this is that you just know that goal needs to be achieved. So I need to break your posture. I need to access a lever. There are going to be slight differences as to how good practitioners do that. I'm not here to say that like this is the only way to do it. What I am here to say is if you don't do this, if whatever method you're using doesn't address these things, you're going to have some problems. So this is our first example. We'll give you a different example, a leg lock based one in the next video.